Welcome everyone to the Dragoon's Lair podcast. I am the Blue Dragoon himself, Daniel the Dragon, and with me once again is the incomparable family man himself, James Haines.
All right, I'm pulling myself out a little bit. Anybody got any NyQuil?
I actually want to send a quick thank you to Method Man for the opening that I used for the last episode.
Yeah.
I will be using that again in random portions of episodes. So keep in mind, you can make that a drinking game if you want to figure out when you see Method Man for the bumper there, then take a drink.
And just remember, he's always invited to the show. He's got an open invitation.
Exactly.
Him and all the Hall of Fame-bound Wu-Tang Clan.
Exactly.
Yeah, baby.
So we've got ourselves an interesting episode for you today. We are going to be talking about the finale of The Boys. We're also going to be talking about Season 3, which was basically a movie-length one episode.
90 minute.
About 2 hours.
Yeah, no, I got it for an hour and 27.
Oh, okay. But for the final part of Good Omens for season 3, which was one episode.
Yes.
And then we're also going to be discussing the movie Ballerina.
Yes.
And I will be talking about
The Punisher.
The Punisher, One Last Kill. So we've got a lot of stuff to get to, but first let's jump right in. And I want to do a couple of anime recommendations. Mm-hmm. So one of the anime recommendations that I want to do is Daemons of the Shadow Realm. And Daemons of the Shadow Realm is, I know it sounds weird. You would think it would just be Demons of the Shadow Realm.
No, and it is not Matt Damon either.
No, but it is literally spelled out Daemons of the Shadow Realm.
Oh, it's Stuart Damon from General Hospital.
But Daemons of the Shadow Realm is created by the same artist who created Fullmetal Alchemist. You can see the artistic style in there for the original Fullmetal Alchemist and Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood. The art style is absolutely phenomenal. The story, it took a couple of weeks of a break before we got new episodes, but the new episodes drop. They drop on Saturdays. So this is one I highly recommend. It is a brother and sister who one has the powers of light and the other one's the power of darkness. So one is a binding and one is another power of sealing and repelling. It's hard to explain the way their power set is.
Sounds interesting.
But there's a lot, but they each have like guardian demons or daemons as they call them in this to protect them. So there's that.
What are they, Canadian?
I don't know.
Maybe.
Well, they're all Japanese, so. But no, and then the other one I don't believe I've had the privilege of talking about, which was Marriage Toxin, which Marriage Toxin is basically a poison master assassin who his sister, if she doesn't get married, she needs to go and get married to basically go and keep the family line going of poison masters, because his assassin style is he's a poison master. But he doesn't want his sister to be held down, so he decides he's going to go and he will get married so his sister and continue on the family line so that his sister doesn't have to. And it's actually pretty interesting because he comes across what would be considered they're calling them the marriage swindler. Well, the relationship swindler, where it's basically a dating coach who is trying to teach him how to talk to women and get him involved. Yeah, get him involved in a relationship and how to interact with people. And you would think, oh, these two are going to end up together. No, the dating coach looks like a woman, but is actually a guy. So that goes right out the window very early on. So a lot of fun with that one. So I recommend Marriage Toxin and Daemons of the Shadow Realm. This has been, like, anime-wise, this has basically been a season
a good spring season.
I don't have any real complaints about anything that I've started watching.
Good.
So a lot of these have all been, like, really good. And I would put, like, I said at the beginning of the year that, what was it? Banished to be a Hero?
Yeah.
Which, Sentenced to be a Hero. Sentenced to be a Hero, the art style, the story, everything. That was on, like, my top contender for anime of the year. And I will say, from the art style alone, Daemons of the Shadow Realm, that one's another one in that top tier listing. I don't see it being the same way, but that's because the storyline's very different, and Sentenced to be a Hero is a lot more darker and grittier. But anyone who loves Fullmetal Alchemist is going to enjoy Daemons of the Shadow Realm. So now, Jimmy, you had something you wanted to address.
Yes. Well, first off, on the animation, July, we will get back season 2 of X-Men 97, or is it 98, or whatever early year. I know, on Disney.
It still says 97, so.
Yeah. Yep. And
is that the thing that'll make you
still no.
Okay.
Still no.
I just have to
Still
see.
no.
I got to see what's going to make your morals kind of crack a little
No,
bit.
believe me,
I
hell
won't push
no.
it. You know, I'm not
Even
pushing.
Maul didn't get me. But I did hear something already for next year,
Okay.
and it involves Henry Cavill.
And that would be?
Voltron.
That's right. I heard about that one.
Well,
it got pushed back.
No.
Worse.
Worse.
They were trying to put it for this year.
Worse.
What happened?
Oh, it's going for next year.
Well, that I knew.
But it's going to be on Amazon Prime
Okay.
instead of going to the theaters.
You know what? Under different circumstances, I would probably say that might not be the best idea. But at the same time, I kind of have to say that I think this is probably a really good idea for them to do that, mostly because of the fact that we've been riding high on a nostalgia train lately. You figure this year alone, we've already had a Mortal Kombat movie.
Yep.
We've got Masters of the Universe coming out. We've got a Street Fighter movie that's coming out. This is riding on that nostalgia train. And Masters of the Universe, I honestly believe people need to go and see this in the theaters so that this way we can get a sequel if it's actually as good as it looks.
Yes.
I know people are like, oh, the CGI and this
Oh,
and that.
shut up.
You know, it's the trailers.
Yeah.
You're not going to get a complete thing from the trailers. And sometimes they change what's in the trailer versus what's in the actual movie. You know, I will always remember listening to, what was it? I'm watching the movie, Disturbing Behavior.
Yeah.
And they pushed the song from Harvey Danger called Flagpole Sitting. So Flagpole Sitter, that was all over the trailers. It was in the movie. It was not on the soundtrack. Had to buy the album separately just to get that one.
I know, you got to
song.
download it. How you even have it downloaded separately?
Well, I had to buy it. I had to buy the album separately because at that point, you know, it wasn't we weren't downloading the stuff as much.
And they weren't selling singles anymore, were they? Or CD singles.
They didn't have a single at that point. At least they didn't put Flagpole Sitter out as a single. The rest of that album was actually pretty good, but
that's good though.
It's, you know, they changed genres, and I haven't really been following like Harvey Danger for that. But you know, when you hear something that's in the movie and it's in the trailer and then it disappears, you know, Marvel's got a history of they show you a bunch of things in the trailer, you're trying to dissect things, and then all of a sudden, boom, it's not in the trailer. It's not in the movie. Yeah. So, Masters of the Universe, I feel, needs to have people go out to see it. Voltron, I think if Masters of the Universe does well,
they might change their mind.
Yeah,
I hope they do, because
more than likely that's going to change their minds for the nostalgia train.
Because remember, it's also under the same umbrella, MGM.
Yeah, and
so
that's the thing. I think they know they're going to get the people watching it. I'm glad if I get to watch it and I don't have to pay the rental fee or whatever. But at the same time, there are certain things that I think we should have a movie-going experience.
Yeah.
You know, I actually had to explain to somebody, I was talking to a guy the other day, and we were having the discussion about the fact that, like, if movie theaters have different tiers, you know, when you're buying tickets, if you're seeing it in IMAX or the 4K or whatever version they're putting out. And I had to explain to him that because of the Odyssey, Disney had to come up with a new version of what they're calling the movie theaters, because the IMAX experience has pretty much already been bought up for the Odyssey.
I could believe it.
Because who's doing the Odyssey again?
Oh yeah, that's Universal.
Yes, but the director.
Isn't that Christopher Nolan?
Exactly. Nolan has this thing when it comes to doing movies. He wants everybody to see things in, like, IMAX theaters. And I get it. I did not like seeing Avatar in the theater, the 3D version, gave me a goddamn headache.
I agree. I think that's why they got rid of a lot of the 3D movies.
Yeah,
now.
it's wearing the glasses. It's, you know, you've got to stare at that screen, and especially for over 2 hours, it's brutal.
Yeah.
So I haven't seen any of the other Avatar movies, but the thing is, like, we know he wants his movies, and the IMAX stuff was already all filled up. So they weren't going to get the screens and make the money they were for, like, Doomsday. So what do they have to do? They came up with a new term for these theaters. So it's their new enhanced whatever they're calling it. So, you know, whenever they do that, it's a cash grab. You know what movie was the exact perfect representation for these, like, gimmicky things for movies? And I think you know exactly the movie.
Not Fight Club.
No, but I'll give you a hint. It starred John Goodman from the 90s.
I'm not going to say The Babe?
No. Matinee.
Ah, yes.
Matinee.
Thank you.
Used all of, like, the tricks that they would use where, you know, where you get the full experience where, you know, water squirts at you.
Yes,
from,
the
like,
4D experience.
The 4D experience. So you have, like, water spraying on you. You get that mist. You get, like, the tingler seats where, you know, the creature's coming and it shocks you from underneath. They put, like, a kind of a buzzer inside the seats so you jump up. It's one of those things where 3D has been a gimmick, and it's an interesting gimmick. When it works, it works. When it doesn't, it really doesn't.
A lot of people have had some pretty good reviews on the 4D, I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
And I've seen even The Wizard of Oz and Madame Tussauds in 4D, which is pretty good.
Okay.
Which is cool, because you get the mist and all that, and all the falling on you.
Yeah. Yeah, but that's the thing. So, I mean, I wanted to make sure, like, that people understood that there are tiers to these different movies and things are gimmicks. And IMAX isn't really a gimmick. It's the screen experience. Yeah. And there's nothing wrong with it.
No.
It's just the price point that they hit you on. So Disney has their new version of IMAX, and that's basically what it is, because they got to figure out how to get more theaters to have that full experience. And we're going to see how that one all plays out. So I want to jump right in. And Jimmy, I know you were a little behind with Good Omens. So
I caught up with I got a good catch up on YouTube. Thank you, YouTube.
Yeah.
And got to season 2, which is like, holy crap. Well, goodbye, John Hamm.
So now, what was your impressions of this season, as they want to call it, which I got to use air quotes for, because we know this wasn't a season when it's one episode.
Listen, to finalize it, this series and everything, I thought it was pretty damn good. I really was impressed on how they kept up with the good and evil. Crowley's character being a bum half time. Michael Sheen, I do not want to say that name. Aziraphale, I believe, or Azrael, however his name is, the angel. Making him in charge of heaven. Oh, yeah, that was like a shit show. It's like, he's missing. They don't call him Jesus, they call him Josiah. Or it sounds like Joshua.
Come on, that was
kind of funny. And then the book of life goes missing. And not for nothing, you got Michael the Archangel playing with it. And not for nothing, they had a page for an air fryer. They burned the air fryer. Really? That was good. But wait. But the cutest part, even before the air fryer, we lost Canada.
Yeah.
And you see Canada.
Destroying the book of life was
destroying the planet.
It was basically getting rid of anything that was ever created. So I mean, it was a very interesting storyline.
The end, last 10-15 minutes of that movie show of Good Omens. Yeah, let's just say it like that. Is amazing, especially with the 2 appearances of the devil, Toby Jones himself. Yep. Very good having him. And God, and the blank books, especially having a blank book of War and Peace. It's just a notebook.
Yeah.
It's just a notebook.
Well, that was the thing. You figure they separated themselves off from the destruction of the universe. So they're good in the bookstore. The problem was every book was basically going to be blank when you get rid of history.
Yeah.
That was like... so meaningful that it's like, that was the equivalent of like the old Twilight Zone episode with Burgess Meredith, where all time is never enough, like not enough time, where it's the banker falls asleep. All he wants to do is read, and it's like now it's like he's alone with all of these books, and then his glasses break. This is now that's like the equivalent of that, where it's like you have all this time, you could sit there, you could read all of those books, they're all blank.
It's leading to that point was the call was how we had to win 3-call Monty.
Yeah.
Follow the lady.
And
here wrong. And
that was the thing. It was like Jesus took the wrong message from Crowley, and it was absolutely hilarious.
Yes, he's giving everybody all this stuff and everything. But wait, how good was that pizza? He started with one slice. There's like, you have more. Like, what the heck?
Well, remember, Jesus fed the hungry. So he was able to go and use that magic power that the pizza never runs out.
That's right. It's like when he had the fishes.
Yep. Eat of my flesh, drink of my blood. I ain't drinking. I'm not a vampire. I'm not drinking anybody's blood.
No.
That's a little unsanitary. But, I mean, that's the thing. Like, Jesus, the fact that Jesus could remember Crowley, that was great. That he really...
And he finds him in the alley drunk.
Drunk and just sleeping in an alley.
Yes.
Like, that was brilliant. I love David Tennant.
Who doesn't love David Tennant? Show of hands. All right, get out.
Yeah.
Get out.
Yeah. But David Tennant and Michael Sheen have had some amazing videos they've put out together and stuff of them talking and everything, arguing with each other over, I was in Twilight, well, I was in Harry Potter. It just works so well between the two of them.
Yeah.
And
I was in Frost Nixon. Okay, you win. I was in Doctor Who.
No, it's like Doctor Who wins.
Yep.
Because it's like, really? No, I was Doctor Who. And it's like, not only was he a doctor, he came back. He was multiple doctors. He's the 10th Doctor, which could be the 10th or 11th Doctor, because then there's the split Doctor that is not a full...
Doctor?
Because he has the lifespan of a human that they leave in the alternate reality with Rose, and then comes back as the 14th Doctor.
Yeah.
And I'm like, this is great. And that's the thing, seeing them together in Good Omens, it works so well. They play off of each other. Mm-hmm. They argue like if they were an old married couple anyway.
And how they ended up, that was amazing. Yeah. How they ended up and everything. Because that's how it ended at season 2. It's like, with just that passing kiss.
But what was their wish again?
They wanted life to, they didn't want no good, no bad. They just want nice.
Yeah, they just got rid of religion. Gee, what a wonderful metaphor for the world today.
What a wonderful world.
If we got rid of organized religion as a whole, people wouldn't be able to argue over stupid crap. But that's the thing. It's like they set out a decent message. I think Family Guy's done that same message, having them show up where, what was it, the teleportation episode where they were time traveling. Brian and Stewie, they end up going through all these different universes. They end up hitting they hit a universe where there was no religion. Then there were flying cars. There's all this stuff. We're good. But no, there's like flying cars, all sorts of stuff going on. It works.
I still like when Peter made the Happy Days a religion. Hey, the Fonz be with you?
Yeah.
Now sit on it.
Now, if anybody would like to tell us what their feelings were for the finale of Good Omens.
What is the email address for us?
Why, it's simple. You can email us at dragoonslairpodcast@gmail.com. That's all one word. Dragoon is spelled with 2 O's. That's dragoonslairpodcast@gmail.com.
Perfect.
Now, not only that, but make sure you like, share, subscribe, hit all the buttons on whatever platform it is that you're checking us out on. Yep. So we want to make sure that we get more exposure. Please feel free to leave us reviews on Apple, because on iTunes you can leave reviews. Leave us comments, and on the Spotify page we have polls there. There's all sorts of things you can do.
You can watch us 1 week early
On Spotify.
That's
but then
right.
You can watch on YouTube. And you
the
can
next week.
And you make sure you like, share, subscribe, hit all the buttons, comment, leave us reviews. We appreciate each and every one of you who leaves us a review and lets us know what you think, because we're trying to make sure that we give you as well-rounded of an experience as possible when it comes to the form of entertainment.
Folks, we hit Portugal. That's how far this show goes.
And if you would like for something for us to review, well, one of the biggest perks that you can do is on the Facebook group for the Dragoon's Lair podcast, you can actually go and there is a link to buy us a cup of coffee. So if you go and you make a donation, even a small donation
Of $1.
of $1 to $5 makes a difference. And I will even put this into effect. We will watch a movie that you suggest. However, if you are going, if I need to, I will put out a list of movies that will take a very high price tag to get us to watch. Titanic, The Notebook are two examples of movies that if you want us to review, we will, but that's going to take a lot of donations to come in. Or
gift cards.
No.
No.
We're not a scam.
We're not a scam.
We don't do gift cards, but if you do leave us a donation.
At least the Chick-fil-A. Or one of them. Or Popeyes. Yeah. Wendy's.
Wendy's is legit.
Okay, Wendy's is legit.
It's the healthier option.
Yeah, I know.
Like fast food wise.
Yeah.
But no, it's really breaks down to I'll have to find like a price threshold for certain things.
$1,000 for Titanic and Notebook.
If we get donations that total up to $1,000, we will do Titanic. Yeah. And I make that a guarantee. But we need to get those donations, and the best place you can find that is the Facebook group, Dragoon's Lair Podcast, that has the link pinned there. And maybe you might want to buy some merch. If you check out Blue Dragoon 13 on Blue Sky, I have in the pinned comments there, in the pinned ones, you can find, hey, we've got merch. So buy some merch.
Merchandising.
Please help and support us, because frankly, I'm in a state of limbo and I have no income coming in. Jimmy is the only thing propping this show up at this point.
I'm on a bicycle.
Pretty much. So we really could use the help here. I'm not asking for miracles, but if you were to go and make small donations of $1 to $5, it helps us out a lot.
I got to make you laugh. I was at the...
What do you got for us?
Okay, I was at a record store. I'm going to keep their name low at it and everything, because they're pretty damn good in Jersey. It's a used record store, and they have, like, I've heard about they're online. Went in there, they had a nice record section, nice CD section, DVD section. They have like Criterion, comedies, drama, trashy movies section. And what's the first one there? Can't Stop the Music by the Village People. I'm like, great. I'm like, no.
Well, what isn't there a movie that's available on Tubi that's the Nudie musical or something?
That one I'm looking for, because I just saw something on that.
I saw somebody talked about this online, and they said it was on Tubi.
All right.
So I'm like, okay.
I even put that on the list on Amazon. You know how much it is? It's like $83.
Or free on Tubi.
Free on Tubi, that's right.
And Tubi, Pluto TV, if you guys would like, we are more than willing to do some advertisements for you guys. But reach out to us at dragoonslairpodcast@gmail.com. That's all one word. Dragoon is spelled with 2 O's. That's dragoonslairpodcast@gmail.com. So now, I'm going to go and take over for a minute, because I want to talk about The Punisher, One Last Kill. So
Okay,
we're
good.
with
I
this?
need to get a drink of water.
There we go.
There we go.
So, welcome everybody to The Punisher One Last Kill. You know, we're seeing the world is in a state of chaos in the Punisher universe. We have Frank Castle basically looks like he's dealing with his inner demons, talking to himself, while like people out on the streets are constantly being attacked. Frank is basically looks like he's getting ready to hang everything up and he's done. Well, turns out he's not really done, because one of the families that helped take out his family, the crime syndicate, he left the wife and mother alive. So because he left her alive, she has now put a hit out on Frank. So he has to go and not only defend himself, get out of the building, but he is also now has to go after her. We don't get a full resolution in this one, which makes perfect sense, but it does give you a lot of action. This is at least about 50 minutes or so for a one shot, which I think was really good, and this should be a good setup to see where the Punisher kind of is at headspace-wise going into the next Spider-Man movie, since we know he's going to be in that. So, but the interesting thing is when we deal with this, you know, Frank looks like he's at the end of his rope. He's ready to, like, give it all up. And frankly, it's understandable. He's visiting his family's graves. He's sitting there talking to them. He leaves the key for all his weapons inside, like at the gravesite. By the end, he goes back and comes to the realization it's not over and he's not done. His mission is still going on. And you know, I'm hitting spoilers into this, and
Spoiler!
But I'm gonna hit the end because we know Punisher's back. It's not really too much of a spoiler if you already know he's gonna be in the new Spider-Man movie as the Punisher.
Frank, what the heck, man?
Yeah, we saw it in the trailer.
That is still high quality.
But one thing that we do see is at the very beginning of the one shot is you have a veteran who is homeless out on the street. He's got food. He's got his little dog with him. He's trying to feed his dog, and this group of idiots goes and attacks him, hits him, takes his Marine cap, and picks up the dog. And this is where you know the world is complete and total garbage, when the guy takes the guy's dog and then throws it in front of a garbage truck. At the very end, though, there is the comeuppance there. Frank has made his return to being the Punisher. He's in full gear, even has like the symbol on his chest full tacked out. He comes across the guy who stole this guy's hat. He beats him up, and you hear the soldier standing right there, and he's like, "That's my skull cap." So he gives him back the cap, and he's like, "That's not the only thing he took from me." And Frank proceeds to beat the ever-loving hell out of this guy. And he takes him out. He takes this guy out, and it's like, you know what? This was a perfect thing coming off the heels of Memorial Day. Because we had Memorial Day, and I think a lot of people have forgotten what the meaning of Memorial Day actually is.
It's not a barbecue season.
You know, yes, it's a holiday that is close to summertime. You know, the weather starts getting nicer, but at the same time, it really is a remembrance for all the soldiers that have given their lives in service for their country and their communities. And this was something that I think paid homage to soldiers, not just the soldiers that have fallen and have come back, but Frank Castle has been pretty much a character that was there throughout his career run. He was a cop, he's been a soldier, but also he's someone who is suffering from a level of PTSD, and we see the effects of that in this Punisher One Last Kill, which really isn't one last kill because he's got more to go. And we're going to see what happens when he comes back with Spider-Man. So now we've had a lot of things that went on here. I'm going to save us discussing The Boys because we've got a lot to discuss about.
Get the tequila out.
But we're going to go and start talking right now about Ballerina.
A John Wick story.
Yep. Now, Jimmy, you want to give us a rundown for the Ballerina?
Basically, you're meeting, how should we say, you meet this lovely lady and lovely child, and she's in school and everything, and, well, she was abandoned. And what happens is, they train her to be an assassin in Russia. And who trains her? None other than Angelica Houston, the director, who everybody remembers from, what is it, John Wick Chapter 2? And her family there is a big family. How so? They basically used it, her family, in like with the ballet and everything as mercenaries. And on, Winston brings it to her, which is crazy about it, because you look at it, it's like, oh my God, Winston, the man that owns the Continental, brings him to her. Ana de Armas, her character, the ballerina, turns to be in this mercenary that they breed to kill all these violent characters, criminals, and everything. And she comes across one, and they're like, yeah, we need your help here. We need her stopped. Why? Well, because we need some peace here, and she's ready to kill everybody. So they have to bring in John Wick. But the thing is, he gives her a little bit of time. Spoiler alert. Well, wait a minute. Yeah, spoiler alert. But if you haven't seen it yet, keep coming with the story. And the Chancellor, because she's now crossed, what was it as they call it? The board that he was blackballed from.
Yep.
And she has to use him in desperate times, calls desperate measures. And, well, basically, she gave him time. He gave her time to do what she's got to do.
Yeah.
And if she didn't, she's really going to get punished. But all in all, she does what she's got to do, and we'll see her down the line. When? Maybe again, we don't know. But she has a room at the Continental, and we know that. God bless Lance Reddick for his last role in that, which I was actually shocked because this came out about 2-3 years after he passed, if you notice it.
Well, that was the thing too. We had some passing away of celebrities, but their final works didn't come out for a little after. You know, we can say the same thing for the first season of Devil May Cry. Was one of the last roles, voice acting wise, for Kevin Conroy.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we've seen like some of their performances can be a little later on. And it was great to see that, you know, we had some of the Continental people back. You know,
they kept the continuity in the John Wick franchise.
Yeah.
And you get to see who else is part of this little tribe of his.
And that's the thing. It's not just that, but it's also you have all these people. Like, you're getting more to expand on the universe itself, because the entire group that she was going after, they're all assassins themselves. So if you've got a bunch of like assassins that you're dealing with, and you've got a top assassin going after other assassins, who do you bring in? You bring in Baba Yaga.
Yep.
So, and that's the thing. Like John Wick, like this was a way to keep the franchise going without really relying on Keanu Reeves.
Yeah.
The thing is, though, they look like, from the way that what was it, John Wick 4?
Yeah.
He could either have had a fake out death, could still be around. They could always go and do more with that. They could follow the other assassin. They had the female there.
They could also follow. Who was it? The black guy was also an assassin.
Yeah, but
as well.
They could also always go and follow, if they want to, go back to the Continental and just tell a story from a different assassin's point of view from the Continental.
Yeah.
So the rebuilt Continental.
Yes.
So it's basically, they've got a lot that they can go through with this. I really like the action sequence because what is it? It's Ana de Armas, right?
Yup.
She is proving when it comes down to it for her action roles, she is all over the place and she's proving she can really do action. She's not just like you would think, like you look at her and you think, oh, she'd be like kind of like the Bond girl.
You got to remember, she was also Lara Croft.
Yeah.
So she's part of that franchise too.
When was she Lara Croft?
There was the Tomb Raider one with our favorite person, Walton Goggins.
Okay.
He was the villain.
That was the newer one?
Yup.
So that was technically the third, which was a reboot of the franchise.
Yeah, it's basically a reboot. Yup.
Because the first two were Angelina Jolie.
Yeah.
All right. You see, when they do stuff like this, it throws me off at times.
Oh, yeah.
But Ana de Armas, I mean, one of the movies that I enjoyed seeing her doing like action stuff in was actually Ghosted. So her and Chris Evans together in a movie doing a bunch of action stuff. I mean, it was really good. Ana de Armas is one of those actresses who, when it comes down to the physicality of it, she is up there where you could look at her as the equivalent of now an action star. Mm-hmm. You know, you can, with the amount of films that she's doing that are the high impact action.
Excuse me.
Yeah. I see her being like the kind of Jason Statham, where you can plug her into doing an action role and it's believable. Where when you look at her, it's not the first thing I would think of. I would almost say if they wanted to reboot like La Femme Nikita,
again,
she would probably be the person that they would use at this point because, I mean, the movie wasn't bad at all.
No.
And then they went and now they did the series.
Twice.
Yeah. So, I mean, they could basically go and use her in so many different capacities when it comes down to it for the action that she's done. Because she's talented as an actress. The physicality that she's doing, like, is a little more than unexpected from her. But it's so cool to see, and seeing her interactions with Keanu as having John Wick and the Ballerina together, it worked so well. And you get to see like there was more going on. She had more of a connection with that village. So it's like, yeah, she's now going and she's got every reason to wipe them out.
Oh yeah.
And it's hard to go and deny it.
No.
Just,
But I'll tell you one thing, though. The weapon guy, he had some really badass weapons till they were trying to shoot his.
The flamethrower stuff was absolutely amazing.
Like the flamethrower bullets?
Oh, yeah. The effects that they used for Ballerina were absolutely incredible. The training stuff that we saw, you know, where they're actually still having to do like the ballet moves.
Yeah.
And you could see like their feet were getting torn apart just from that alone. And then throw in assassin training on top of that.
Why not?
This was so interesting to do where I was not expecting it. So, I mean, there's so much that we had. And it's really breaks down to us trying to get everything going because there was so many different levels of where we're like, are you kidding me? This just kept going. And I loved every single second of what they did because they really made sure that they kept everything going to the point where now you're like, what is next?
I love to see them redo the Continental on Peacock again, season 2, and bring it up to the Baba Yaga.
The Baba Yaga?
Baba Yaga.
You see, the only thing would be it's needing a younger Keanu Reeves.
Yeah.
And that's the only little mini kind of drawback. Sorry about that, folks. If you're watching the video version, Jimmy's was still talking and was frozen. We've got that little issue corrected really quickly now. So, yeah.
It's okay.
But, yeah, no, like the Continental, I still actually have to sit down and watch the Continental. That I have not watched.
That was pretty damn good.
It looked interesting.
It's basically Winston's origin.
But wasn't it only like about 4 episodes. 4 episodes.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's something I know I can jump into. It just happens to be, it's like, I still never watched the Resident Evil, like, series on Netflix, and that's because I knew it got canceled after the first season. So, I'm like, I'm not in a rush to try to watch something when you know there's not going to be anything else to it. It's like, you watch something, they leave you off on a cliffhanger, and now you never get that resolution.
I know. It's like It's like what people are saying about case in point, Community. I started rewatching it again on Peacock. It went on Netflix and it went to Peacock, and they're supposed to be making this movie, and that was 3 years ago. It's now 2026, and that movie is somewhere. I think it's next to Batgirl on the shelf.
Yeah. Well, the funny thing is, notice though, Batgirl could theoretically get released, especially now after, hopefully, if Acme versus Coyote or Coyote versus Acme, whichever way it is for the title, if that does well, maybe someone will say, I want to be the one to distribute Batgirl. Let us have to distribute it. Let it get out there, because in all honesty...
Let it be streamed, and we don't care.
The problem was Warner Brothers took it as a tax write-off. So they took it as a loss. I would have gone and said, how about the Flash be the tax write-off?
Yeah.
And we would have still gotten Michael Keaton as Batman, but he would have been training Barbara Gordon Batgirl. So it would have worked so much better that way.
The water bottle.
Of course. No, in case you heard the little pop, that was a water bottle that just, was sitting there and it just settled. But no, that's the thing. We have movies that there are opportunities to watch and see. We're just getting screwed over because the studios are making some decisions. Because there's one thing that I really, truly do miss. I miss the old days. I miss the days that we used to get where a movie would come out and it was experimental. They tried things. It didn't have to be a certified like blockbuster. Nowadays, everything needs to be a blockbuster. The budgets have gone so inflated that I kind of miss the old days where I could go to a video store. I've never heard of a title, but it's on the shelf, so I could pick it up, check it out. That was actually how I first started watching like Kevin Smith movies.
Yeah.
I didn't see Clerks first. I saw Mallrats on home video, went to the store, saw Mallrats, found out that Mallrats had a tie-in with Clerks, went to watch Clerks. I actually watched them in chronological order, not release order.
That's good.
So that's the thing. There's so many opportunities, but we don't get video games. They don't take chances anymore, so we don't have like the budget titles. We're not getting budget movies. I mean, there are small independent movies that, yeah, they're finding their way if they can, and maybe you'll get to see them on like a Tubi or a Shudder.
Yeah.
But it's not the same thing as having like a release for going to the movies, seeing a movie that's like 90 minutes or like 96 minutes long. You get a movie that's about 96, 98 minutes long.
At least 102 minutes. That's not bad.
Yeah, those were like the old ways of doing everything. Now, I say like 97, 90, like 98 minutes because that was pretty much the runtime for a lot of old horror movies.
Yeah.
Especially, what was it? If I'm not mistaken, and please fact check me on this one. I had done some old reviews that are on on my YouTube channel, Blue Dragoon 13, where I had talked about the Sleepaway Camp movies. Well, guess what? Sleepaway Camp, if I'm not mistaken, 2 and 3 were in the 90-something minute marks. They didn't go and exceed like 100 minutes. If they stopped, it was about 96, 98 minutes. So, which I feel was a great runtime to be able to get a bunch of action in, tell a story, and get out. So, I mean, there's plenty of opportunities there. It's just we're not seeing the experimental. You know, when you get an experimental movie, it's usually like Nolan, and it needs to be on an IMAX theater. So that's going to go and now cost you an arm and a leg. listen, the movie theaters are making up their money with all the popcorn buckets.
Yep.
And I don't have the money for it, but if somebody...
We don't have the room either.
But if someone would like...
An hour and 20 minutes, sleepaway camp.
Yeah, totally.
2.
Yeah, see? 1 hour, 20 minutes. So
that's all you need.
Yeah.
Now we're 20, now we're 30, now we're 40. Otherwise, that's it. Boom.
Yeah. But, like, that was when we got to be able to do some experimental stuff. Things that you weren't expecting to be seen.
No.
Nowadays, you're expecting blockbuster. It's got to be big. It's got to be epic. But they make movies the same way that they make TV shows nowadays, which is they built in to the audience knowing that the audience is going to probably be looking and checking their phone multiple times. So they've dumbed down the storylines. And you've seen it. They dumb down a story so you can keep track of what's happening when you pick up your phone and you're looking at your phone instead of going and paying attention to the movie. So whenever they want to blame, like, anyone, I blame the people for allowing the cell phones. This should be the point where people get kicked out of theaters for having their cell phones out.
And you're told, please put your cell phone away and put it on silent.
I don't even like when I go to the movies and like if I'm going to see a movie with a friend and they go and they want to tag me into letting people know the location. I'm like, after the movie's done, you want to tag that we saw the movie, then you can tag after. Do not do it before.
Because that thing will ring riot.
And that's the thing. You don't need any notifications. You don't need people asking you, how was the movie? I do this. I can tell you how the movie is. That's the whole thing. We're doing a podcast to tell you about the movie. So, I mean, when you have all of that going on, there's so much more we could do. And don't you miss those experimental days of, like, being back in college?
Oh, yes.
How many experimental, weird, bizarre things did we see back then?
Plenty. How tasty was my little French?
Oh, God. That, for foreign films, oh, my God.
Yeah. She was a nice teacher, but those foreign films.
Oh, no, see, you saw it with a different professor.
Yeah.
I saw it with a different professor. And the thing was, he had complained saying that I never stayed to watch the movie. I'm sitting there. How tasty was my little Frenchman was the reason why I stopped staying to see the movie. I'm sorry, but I can't read the subtitles when I've got a schmeckle running across the screen. It's behind the subtitles. It's like, okay, just look. Try looking at the top corner of your screen. So you go and you look up, and as you see, it's running down, and that's the first thing you see. It's like, whoa, whoa, whoa. I get what this is, but this is a little much.
Yep.
And I wasn't going to be the person to complain, you know. Like, I will always remember Jimmy and I, student government, having to listen to the complaint of the girl who didn't like the movie because how Sicilians were portrayed.
Oh, yes.
She didn't like the historical element to it, which I'm using coded language here to prevent saying what was said. And we're not using names, so no one can get in trouble here.
No.
But yes, highly offended by something that has been proven historically accurate.
Pretty much.
Yeah, that was literally the funniest complaint I had ever seen.
And now, ladies and gentlemen,
Our feature presentation. Yep.
your main event of the podcast.
That's right. We're talking The Boys series finale.
Yes.
The Boys are not done because the universe is still open. We are going to get The Boys Vought Rising.
Yep.
But, gotta say, there's been mixed reviews so far of people, and I'm going to jump out right in front. Jimmy, what was your honest opinion of how The Boys ended? I don't want details of what happened, just how it made you feel. Was it a satisfying ending? Did you feel like it needed more? Was there something missing? Or was this like just... Was this the Game of Thrones ending where people complained, whined, and was like, this is
Oh, you mean like
terrible?
The Sopranos?
Yeah.
Well, let's put it this way. First off, the episode before, I believe it was the episode before, where we had the most amazing Oscar-winning cameo ever. That was the best. And but I'll tell you this, I got what I got what I paid for on this. I was very pleased and everything. It's crazy, but guess what? There'll be more down the line, but this was satisfying.
Exactly. Now, like for me, I honestly believe that no one was going to be happy with the way this ended because everybody was going to want more. If you read the comics, you were going to know how things ended. And it didn't end the same way, but you also have to remember, in the comics, the boys all had like low-level versions of V in their system, so they all had like superpowers to be able to go up against the Supes. These characters did not have that same advantage. Was there holes that could have been filled where they could have used the characters from Gen V? Yes. They didn't use them to the extent that I wish they would have.
Agreed.
If they come up with another spin-off series that involves those characters, great. But it was never going to be 100% satisfaction for everyone. I loved what they did.
Yes.
I liked how everything played out. I think things went the way they were meant to go. And if you have a problem with that and you disagree with us, feel free to email us at dragoonslairpodcast@gmail.com. That's all one word. Dragoon is spelled with 2 O's. That's dragoonslairpodcast@gmail.com.
That's right.
Or you can send us a message on Dragoonslair Official on Instagram.
Yes.
Now, with that being said, I have to point out that this episode was very somber, but it was also very action heavy. I mean, we're dealing with the aftermath. Frenchie's gone.
Yeah.
Frenchie has now been taken out of the equation, so now is their final stand. Homelander has the V1 in his system, which, ironically enough, didn't give him a power boost at all.
No.
All it did was extended his life, if anything. He basically got an immunization shot, a vaccine, if you will, for the virus. So now they deal with Frenchie's death. They've made their decision. They are going after Homelander. They're figuring out their way in, but they needed to test out if it worked on Kimiko so that she now has the same ability to strip powers away the same way that Soldier Boy has.
Yeah.
And Sage takes that full-on hit, and it is hilarious.
Oh, God. She ended like a little kid.
She was great that all of a sudden she was no longer the smartest person on the planet.
Oh, heck no. That was one, and that was beautiful.
Well, especially because now her brain was not giving anyone anything that they thought. So now she's giving stupid ideas. She could talk some level of common sense.
But not that much.
But not to the extent where it was like she was going to be of no help. I love the fact that she was, what was it? She's going to Disney?
Yeah, I'm going to Disney World.
Yeah, she's like, I'm going to spend my last days at like Disney, like just riding the rides and stuff. And she was going to Universal, go to Harry Potter World.
Yep.
It was one of those things where it was like, you know what? Makes so much sense. The Deep being told that no one likes him. Homelander's like, I have no need for you. You're a joke. I have zero respect for you. And he still refused to accept the fact that it was like he's not necessary. You have the Preacher and Ashley. Their weird like fetish stuff and everything that they were getting involved in came back to bite him in the ass or in the mouth because it was amazing them getting into the White House, Ashley making her turn and realizing Homelander is going to kill everybody.
Yep.
So her best option was getting the hell out of there. She had to even be able to get her alter self, her talking tumor.
It's about time you got your head out of your ass.
Yelling at her talking tumor was hilarious. Her helping the boys get in and seeing the fight going through. Huey absolutely nailed his Butcher impression.
Oh, yeah.
That was great. Like, oi, this way, you cunts. You're like, I was absolutely brilliant. Him going through this and like leading them away. They go get rid of the preacher. I always forget what his name is, but that guy is such an amazing actor.
Oh yeah,
and he's a talented musician on top of that.
well, he's got a Tony Award thanks to Hamilton.
But not just that. I mean, I've seen videos
Daveed
of
Diggs.
Yeah, but I've seen Daveed Diggs like singing, like not like just doing Hamilton. Like I've seen him singing and performing. He is extremely talented.
Oh, and believe me,
I'm like, I kind of want to see him do something else. I just want to see him perform.
He was in Wonder, which I thought was amazing.
Okay.
Because he plays the teacher, but it shows a whole different side of him and everything. But it's really, seeing him as that character really is impressive and everything. And it's really nice to see him as something else other than the in Hamilton, or at least doing musicals and all that.
Yeah.
But
and he did a phenomenal job, and it was hilarious the way they take him out. Not going to go into details because I want people to see this on for themselves. But the fight between Kimiko, Homelander, Butcher, and Ryan coming in. Now, I know a lot of people...
I was like, holy shit.
People complained about the power scaling. Yeah. But Ryan's still a kid. Now, I know a lot of people complained because the way things were, yes, they took out Black Noir in the previous episode, and getting taken out by the Deep, that's pretty...
That was lame.
That's a garbage way to go out for somebody who was apparently stronger than the original version. But the thing is, in the comics, you find out Homelander's not even the guy who does most of the psychotic stuff. It's actually Black Noir, because Black Noir was a clone and a psychotic clone of Homelander.
Was Daveed Diggs.
Yeah. Daveed Diggs, father?
Father.
Well,
O-H father.
Yeah, well, father.
Father.
Well, his O face was really shown in this one. But...
We'll get to that in a bit, because like I said...
Yes.
I
know. But now you have Kimiko. She's not able to get the power to stir the same way. So she's got to figure out how to tap into it, charge it up. But seeing Butcher beating down on Homelander, the two of them, that fight was awesome.
That was like Civil War almost.
Yeah, but Ryan coming in, helping Butcher, and it's like, he doesn't love Butcher.
No.
But at the same time, it's like he knows how much of a dick his father
is.
And he even proved to him, it's like, you're still, no matter how much you crave the attention of people,
you're still a dick.
People are still going to hate you.
But I still like how Starlight got rid of the Deep, took him out to the beach, and she's beating the shit out of him.
And that's the thing. It was hilarious for that fight, because she takes him out of the White House, gets him to the beach, they're fighting. She has no clue that he's been told, if you step 1 foot in the ocean, a puddle, anything, it's on sight. And they went on sight.
Dude, a dolphin bit his ass.
The thing is, though, the Deep actually held his own for a little while until he got knocked into the water.
Yeah.
And then he was done.
That was it.
And the funny thing is, though, the Deep was really was a full amalgamation of every bro podcaster telling you how horrible women are. It's being with a woman for pleasure is gay. Like, the weird bizarrities that are coming out of it is...
Mind you, this is the guy that screwed an octopus.
Yeah, he did weird things with fish life, It was bizarre, but he got exactly what was coming to him.
Oh, yeah.
A-Train was proven 100% right that Homelander was going to go down like a little bitch.
Oh, yeah,
and seeing Homelander after Kimiko has her, like, moment of zen where she talks to, like, Frenchie Spirit, and it's like her power doesn't come from where it would for someone else. and it gets her going, and she lets out that blast. Now, I had to ask the question because it made me wonder. Did Butcher's, did that wipe the compound V out of Butcher?
Butcher.
Did it also take it out and get rid of it from Ryan? Because we don't know.
Nope.
But seeing Butcher go toe-to-toe with Homelander, and Homelander realizing he can't fly, he can't do all this stuff.
He can't anything.
Homelander went out the way I would picture any tyrant who thinks they're a complete and total badass,
bulletproof,
and no one can ever touch them. Him not realizing the camera's still rolling. And
I was just ready to say that. And everybody's starting to leave this prick he's a prick. Goodbye.
When you hear him crying on his hands and knees, I'll do whatever you want. I'll go. You want Becca back? I'll go and I'll get a shapeshifter to be her for you. I will suck your dick for He tried everything, and Butcher finished him. And the crowbar for it all was the way it needed to go down.
Oh, yeah.
But then it goes even further.
Because, let's see, as we follow in, a certain acting president gets impeached and acts like a little bitch that they are.
But Ashley went, and she got exactly what she deserved. But you know what? It's not like she didn't get taken out of the equation fully.
No.
She just is not in charge anymore.
Yep. And let's say our certain man, Giancarlo, is now in charge.
He's back in charge of Vought, and then you have the new president is Robert Singer.
Yep.
I love the fact that he's still Bobby Singer, basically the same name he had in Supernatural.
Yeah.
It's absolutely great. I was hoping he would have called someone an idiot. That's all I needed him to do, but it didn't happen.
I think he was ready to do it. Because if he didn't take the offer.
I wouldn't be surprised, but he went, and it's like you're finding out where everyone ends up. You find out Ryan is basically adopted by Mother's Milk. So adopts him. Kimiko's gone off. She's going to leave her life and now you've got Starlight pregnant, Huey's baby. The two of them having their own shop. Absolutely wonderful.
He finally got his shop.
But Huey having to settle things first with Butcher before the so-called happy ending. It's a shame, but
it had to happen.
It was also something that couldn't be. You couldn't let Butcher continue on because Butcher was ready to wipe everyone out.
Yeah.
So, I mean, they really went all out, balls to the walls. And that's why I said, I know there were going to be plenty of people who weren't going to be happy with the ending. It's just the nature of the beast.
Always like that. Yeah, exactly. I mean, I'm waiting on Sunday is Euphoria. And they've already started little by little with certain issues there and people. But I'm going to tell you this. You're going to have that same thing there. But you know what, though? You had it with The Sopranos. You had it with all these other shows and everything.
Sopranos, Game of Thrones, Stranger Things.
One of the best endings I always liked was Happy Days, where they ended after Joni and Chachi's wedding, and they're sitting around, and Howard Cunningham goes, "Thank you for being part of our family for all these years." And that was classic, legendary. That's what you need.
But that's a sitcom ending.
Yeah.
When you have a drama ending, the thing is, a lot of these dramas aren't on positive notes.
Yeah.
If you're going to follow someone who is not a hero, you're following a kind of an anti-hero. You take a look at, what was it? Sons of Anarchy.
Yeah.
Sons of Anarchy, it was never going to be a happy ending.
No.
Game of Thrones was never going to be a happy ending. It was always going to be somewhat of a down note. Now, if George R.R. Martin ever finishes the last 2 books,
Yep.
then maybe we'll have a different ending than what we got for the show, or we get an expanded ending. And guess what? Maybe they'll like it more if you read it from the books. Notice Breaking Bad had an ending people weren't overly happy with, but they did El Camino. So they gave a little more closure to certain elements to it. But endings are never something that people are going to be fully 100% satisfied
No one's going to be
with.
happy.
No. Getting satisfaction from an ending needs to be absolutely like flawless. You're never going to get that because for a series, you're going to build up whatever expectations you have in your own head. Your mind is going to create things. It's the same way you take a look that wrestling fans come up with storylines in their head that they could do so much better than what they see on television.
And you know what my rebuttal is? Shut up and just watch it.
But that's the thing.
I know.
It breaks down to...
Yeah.
That's the reason why there is such a thing as fan fiction.
Yep.
Write your fan fiction, have whatever headcanon you want for certain things.
Be a social media troll, but just don't annoy the shit out of everybody else.
The thing is, like, I enjoyed the ending. I'm not going to say, was it the best ending ever? No. But nothing's going to be the best ending ever. Cobra Kai gave me a satisfying ending that I was happy with. I was happy with the ending for Game of Thrones.
Full circle.
Yeah. Game of Thrones pretty much came full circle, and you knew no one was going to be happy. You go and you look.
And now you got House of Dragons coming out in July.
Yeah, so there's...
And that's going to be very interesting.
But we know that's not going to have a happy ending either.
Because we already know what's already going on because it starts Game of Thrones afterwards.
And that's the whole thing. Getting a satisfying ending for everyone is never going to be something that is fully capable. You'll get people it could be a positive ending, but when you look at the characters, you take a look at The Sopranos. I never watched it, but I know the end. I know how the show ends. You're following a mobster from episode 1 to the ending of the show. What would make you think it's gonna be a happy ending and it's gonna be satisfying? You can go back, even like a sitcom, you take Seinfeld. The ending was never going to be fully satisfying for people.
Exactly.
But...
Same thing with Cheers.
Yeah. And that's the thing. Endings are going to be uncomfortable for people because you don't want things to end.
People, it's like, I'm going to take this as example, Rogue One. Everybody's like, all right, good has to triumph over evil here. Or something else has to happen. But you want to know something? I was satisfied with that ending because there was no winner, there was no loser, because it has to bring everything to one point in the middle, hope. And it did. And it did right to the point perfectly.
And that's the thing, though. When you go and you honestly take a look, Rogue One, it's a segue movie.
Exactly.
So it was never going to have a happy ending.
No.
It's the same way when you look back, and we covered it because we talked about the prequel series to Rogue One.
Yeah.
Andor basically went and made sure that it set everything up for Rogue One. You can't get a satisfying ending from something that's going to have a down ending. Empire Strikes Back was going to be a down ending, but it didn't mean it wasn't satisfactory.
No.
We all loved it back then because we were like, where are they going to go next? What's the next thing? And that's the whole thing. If a franchise is going to continue on, we'll see more of it. We're going to be discussing when Vought Rising does come out. We'll talk about Vought Rising.
Absolutely.
However, the thing that we have to remember is that when it comes down to it, you have to take an honest look and realize shows are going to end. And are there shows that have cliffhanger endings that we've never gotten satisfaction for? Absolutely.
Yeah.
There was a TikTok video I came across that somebody posed, what's a show that had an ending that was a cliffhanger that was never resolved? Jimmy, what's one that you can say? I know it's a complicated one, but what's a show?
That's actually complicated.
It's not really, because when you think about it, back throughout the 80s and 90s, there were so many shows.
I mean, you had like
ended.
Dynasty, you had Falcon Crest, you had Dallas.
Not even just them, but you can take a sitcom, any show. What was a show or like that gave you a cliffhanger that it ended on that you never got any resolution to? And don't say Twin Peaks, because Twin Peaks did get a resolution years later. And that was weird as it was.
I never got into Twin Peaks.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
I know. I can firewalk with anybody, but I never firewalked with that show.
Yeah, but no, come on.
Yeah. No, one thing with me, I'm actually... I got nothing on my mind on that. I'll tell you that. I got nothing. Everything I've seen...
I can give you several examples right now of shows. Doesn't have to just be live action.
Maybe even a cartoon.
But
like even...
The Pirates of Dark Water ended on a cliffhanger. We never got a resolution unless you followed the comics. And if you don't have access to those comics... Same thing with
Buffy.
Yeah. Buffy was a satisfying ending. They just kind of continued on. We could have gotten a new show, but unfortunately, no, we don't get that because of an executive who never watched the original series.
Yeah.
But another one that ended on a cliffhanger, V. The reboot for, I believe it was about 2009.
Yeah.
When they rebooted V, they told it from a different story. Everything was a little more updated. But the original V, that first season after the 2 miniseries, it ended on a cliffhanger. We never got more for that. They brought back V for 2009. It ended on a cliffhanger. We never got a resolution, and they had just brought back Mark Singer.
Yeah.
So when you get Mark Singer makes his first appearance in this new V series, and then you go and you cancel it, it was unsatisfying for me. That's something where I will sit there and complain about a finale.
Airwolf.
I don't even remember how Airwolf ended.
Airwolf, he was always looking for his brother Sinjin, and he never found him. But they redid the show. They twisted it, and it wasn't with Barry Van Dyke and everything, and it wasn't the same.
But notice, you can see there are things they end on cliffhangers that there's no resolution. I only got resolution years later for the Dungeons and Dragons cartoon because when they put out the DVD, there was an audio recording of some of the actors. They read what would have been the final episode, where they're given a choice, where by the end of it they're given a choice where they can leave and go back to their world, or they can stay and have more adventures. So there's some conclusion there.
It was like, what was it, Kid Video?
Yeah. But when you go and you have a show like The Boys that was always brutal, was gonna be vicious, you can't expect to be like, you're not getting the comic book ending because they made changes from the comic story.
They always make changes in every book and every comic book and everything, because they either add or they subtract.
There's certain things that don't translate
and then they put this much of a story into this much of a scene, and that hence Gone with the Wind.
And if you'd like to know how much measurement-wise, you can watch the episode on Spotify, or you can watch on YouTube, Blue Dragoon 13 channel, so that this way you can see just exactly the finger measurements that Jimmy's using to go and actually describe.
I squish you.
No, but that's the thing.
Yeah.
And like I said, when it comes to endings are something that... no one wants something to end.
Everybody wants a happy ending. You're not going to get the happy ending.
And you want the happy ending, go find a rub and tug.
Go down to Carvel.
Yeah, maybe you'll get yourself a Fudgy the Whale. That'll be your happy ending. But that's the thing. You're not going to be satisfied because people don't want relationships to end. That's why there's so much sadness when a relationship comes to an end. When a show comes to an end, it's like a breakup for a relationship.
Exactly.
It's ending. You don't want it to end.
Nope.
It was, especially if it's a long-running series, something that you've had with you for so long. Anime fans, I know when One Piece finally comes to an end, people are going to complain about the ending. They'll love it at first, and then there's going to be the critics that are going to come ripping everything apart because You just went over 1,000 episodes, and it's still going. It's around 1,162 or 63 at the time of this recording, and it's still going. They're not at the end yet. By the time that it finally does end, people are going to find something to complain about. Naruto, when Naruto ended, it was as satisfying an ending as you were gonna get, especially when you then put in a trash show that was the continuation of Boruto. I tried 25 episodes and gave up because it just was terrible.
It wasn't impressive.
No, it was terrible. But Naruto had, like, the critics never want to address the fact they had too many goddamn fillers. You put fillers in, you're going to fill up the screen. Yeah, you gave a bunch of extra story, but it doesn't mean it did any positive gains for it. So, right now, you didn't like the ending? Write your own ending. Or go check out the comic books. Go to your local comic book shop, see if they have an omnibus series of it.
And there's about 3 or 4 of them.
Yeah, so you could read all of the boys' comics. You can see how the story is different.
You can email and write to Grant Morrison and tell him how you feel. This was his baby.
Yeah, but that's the thing. When you look at everything that's gone on that's based off of a comic book property, if it's not animated, they're not going to be able to do everything. And even with, like, Invincible, they can't do everything because there's licensing rights and issues. But go and read the original source material. If you didn't like the Harry Potter movies, we've got a series that's coming out that's supposedly going to be closer to the books.
Yeah.
But you can always go and read those books. And if you don't want to give J.K. Rowling any money whatsoever, go to your local library or check out a thrift store, buy a used copy of it. Check it out from the library. You know what? That'll be the best way for you to not support someone who you disagree with their opinions. You know, you don't like Apple. Guess what? Neither do I, but I'm still stuck with an iPod. I got the Classic. I have the iPod Touch. My Classic doesn't really work. The Touch works, but it's never going to be what it once was.
No.
But if you want, you can always buy another MP3 player. You can buy an alternative thing. You don't have to give them the money. If you want and you need to get yourself a Mac computer, buy a used one. No one's telling you that you don't get a refurbished one. It could work just as good, and you don't have to worry about stuff. There's always an alternative because if you end, but ending certain things is always. Are you all right?
It's been crazy weather.
Allergy season.
Duck season.
Rabbit season.
Elma season.
Okay. Now the thing is that it's like I want to make sure Jimmy's okay, but endings are always difficult, and you're never gonna like an ending. The same way you're not going to like the fact that we have to end this episode.
Yep.
So, if you want more of us, it's always easy because, Jimmy, how can everybody get in touch with you?
You can get in touch with me on Snapchat, lowercase lettering James, SI0925. On Instagram and Threads, James H _ the 4th, lowercase again. Facebook, James Haines the 4th. TikTok, James0925 and James925 on Blue Sky. Just want to give everybody a little heads up and a thank you. Made the top 15 in the artist den. Hey, pleasure doing it. I'll tell you one thing. I'll keep trying on anything else, but don't give up on anything in life. Even Mark Mothersbaugh got back to me. I left a couple of comments. Yes, the man from Devo who took art and brought it with him into Devo. He got back to me on comments, and he was like, nice. Okay, I understand. Good thoughts and all. I was like, very pleased. So, thank you very much.
All right.
How can we get in touch with you, Dan?
Oh, getting in touch with me is super easy. It's my handle on all of my socials. Blue Dragoon 13, that's on Blue Sky. You can find me on Twitch. You can find TikTok. You can find links in every single one of my socials where you can get a full link tree and find everything but Blue Dragoon 13 on Instagram and Threads. You can find Dragoon's Lair podcast official page on, what is that again? Oh yeah, Facebook groups. You can find the Dragoon's Lair podcast Facebook group. You can join that, keep up with us, and see like all the reels, the shorts, follow all of that. That's on the TikTok channel of Blue Dragoon 13. But not only that, you can make sure you can follow Dragoon's Lair Official on Instagram and Threads.
Yeah.
Put out stuff there all the time. Not only that, you can go and make sure that you like, share, follow, do all the things on Blue Dragoon 13 YouTube channel, where you can watch the episodes 1 week after they've already been on Spotify, iHeartRadio, Apple Podcast, Amazon Podcast, and Audible, as well as all of the other podcasting platforms that you prefer. Easiest way to do that. And you can make sure you can contact us at Sorry about that, folks.
Take two.
No.
Keep going.
Listen, I'm laughing because you know what? I've done this so many times. The best way that you can get in touch with us really is to either send us a message on Instagram for Dragoon's Lair Official, or you can send us an email at dragoonslairpodcast@gmail.com. That's all one word. Dragoon is spelled with 2 O's. That's dragoonslairpodcast@gmail.com.
That's it.
Become one of the Dragoonies. Make sure you follow us on all of the socials. Make sure that you like, share, and subscribe. Leave us comments on the videos. Take part in the polls that are on the Spotify page. All you have to do is just scroll down on Spotify and the polls are there. All you got to do is answer a question. I put them up for every single episode. Most of them have all been closed at this point. All of them are closed because all the results come in. I appreciate everyone who takes part in that. And like I said, we have merchandise
Merchandising.
and the merchandise that you can buy is all listed through the link on my Blue Sky page that I have in the pinned comments. You can also, it should be there as well on the Facebook group, so make sure you check those out. Get the merchandise, help us out on the Facebook group. There's also the link for the donations. If you can make us any donations whatsoever, we greatly appreciate it. It helps keep the show going. It helps me survive. If I could get anything, I'm gonna need to be able to eat at some point. So other than that, we need to make sure that we build this community up and we keep going, because every time we talk about a bunch of stuff, we have so many things to discuss, and we try to keep this in like hour increments. This one's going to be about like over an hour, about an hour and a half. But at the same time, just so you get a little preview of what we're going to be doing for our next episode, we are going to be doing we're going to be doing a throwback movie of True Romance.
Yes.
We're also going to be doing They Will Kill You.
Yes.
Which you can find on Amazon.
You can find True Romance on Netflix.
And Netflix, we're going to be talking about, what was that again? Oh yeah, we're going to be talking about The Burrow.
Yes.
And on Amazon, we will be covering Spider-Man Noir.
Yes.
And we're going to try to see if we can watch it in 2 different ways, so you'll have an opinion for Noir or Technicolor. So, with that being said, I want to thank each and every one of you. Make sure you
Thank you
share.
very much.
Yeah, like, share, subscribe, do all the things. Leave us reviews. It helps us out a lot. And if you guys leave us reviews on Apple, in iTunes, I will go and I will read them out, and we will have a good time with any of the reviews. Leave us a funny review.
Leave us a request.
Leave us any kind of comments you want on the videos. It's always great to interact with you guys.
Yes.
But at this point, I have to remind you, you don't have to go home, but you can't stay here.
Get out.
Now get out.
Get out.